There's something about being dropped into a brand new game world and finding it to be dense with deeply considered lore, terrifyingly aggressive creatures, and tantalizing questions that leave an indelible mark on the memory. Horizon Zero Dawn is one of those games. Coupled with wonderfully flexible combat and a story that touches on unexpectedly profound themes, I found it hard to tear myself away from Horizon even after I'd finished its main campaign some 40-odd hours later. A sense of urgency is established from the get-go, as Horizon's premise is a big mystery that begs to be solved. The questions raised by our protagonist, a woman named Aloy, and the primitive, feral, machine-infested open world she inhabits kept me guessing throughout. What's at the center of it all? Although there's some occasionally corny dialogue,
That sounds ominous.
the broader ideas it prods at are remarkably ambitious. Aloy's dry wit that tempers her big-hearted heroism made me care about her journey on a more personal level.
So you'll cry for her, but she won't speak to me.
Though you have some say on the way she responds to situations in the interests of dialogue flavour, she remains largely a well-intentioned character, which is in step with the broader story.
Aloy, we cannot.
Horizon's combat is its most compelling feature, thanks to the variety found within 26 distinct species of animal-like machines. These authentically animalistic beasts each have several weak points, and hitting different points can have different results that change the way a fight plays out. Send a piercing arrow into the toxic-looking cargo sack of a bellowback, for example, or down a glint hawk by destroying the free sack on its chest. It's breathless stuff, and there are no hand-holding tutorials telling you how to best approach the beasts, which makes for more rewarding wins. For Aloy's part, her arsenal is largely tricked-out primitive weaponry. Her upgradable bows and elemental-infused arrows feel great to use thanks to her concentration skill that slows down time. She also has access to a handful of more elaborate devices like the rope caster or the trip caster, though in practice these weapons are a little slow and fiddly, and I found the most challenging machines were too fast and too powerful to use them in a genuinely effective way. After I learned how to fight competently, Horizon continually made me feel like a ridiculously accomplished warrior without sacrificing the vital sense that every major battle could easily result in my death. Dodging attacks requires constant rolling, all the while using the quick on-the-fly crafting system to build ammo specifically to counter the threat. Not that Horizon encourages you just to blindly wander into every fight and start shooting. A lot of the machines roam in packs, so if you're not careful, you can be outnumbered within seconds. To counter this, there's generally a chance for a stealth kill. It's a shame luring specific machines away from their packs is so time-consuming though. Often simple hunts for a single animal evolve into massive fights. Alternatively, Aloy doesn't have to do all the work herself, as she eventually discovers how to override the machine's brains. As you upgrade your skill tree, these overrides can last for longer, which allows you to essentially build up a small army of loyal, vicious steeds. Got you! While they're not as engaging as their mechanical counterparts, there are human targets too. Aside from the fact that, like in other half-stealth games, you can't hide bodies,
Somebody's down over there!
I had the most fun stealthing these guys. Clearing these enemy camps is one of the many incidental side activities scattered across Horizon, a variety which also includes digging in ancient bunkers for clues from the past, trekking machines through dedicated hunting grounds, and climbing to the top of giant tall necks to unlock more of the map. It's nothing we haven't seen before in other games of this ilk, but thanks to the promise of XP and loot, it's all very compulsive. On top of that, the post-apocalyptic landscape itself is beautiful and terrifying, so journeying through it in search of things to do between main quests is usually a reward of its own. Snowy vistas, autumnal forests, and vast deserts are beautifully realized, even kept at 30 frames per second as it is. That's true on PlayStation 4 Pro as well, where it runs in a stunning 4K mode. Though I noticed the occasional pop-in and judder, Horizon's visuals keep up with Aloy, and impressively I didn't notice any significant glitches in its massive open world.
Well, well, look who's come in from the wild, the motherless outcast.
Humans of this world have been reduced back to a tribal state, and each tribe has its own identity shaped by unique mythologies that are interesting to delve into. It's at these settlements that you'll be given your missions, both the urgent high-stakes main quests and side quests. While the latter are as lengthy as the main missions, they do unfortunately quickly fall into regular fetch quest patterns.
So it's rabbits and your trinket you need this time.
I would have liked a little more originality to keep them from blurring together into one. Main missions, on the other hand, cleverly weave current-day politics into a quest to solve the mysteries of the old world. I found myself switching between chasing the ghosts of the past in the deep, dark bunkers of lost technology, for example, and solving the murder of a tribal leader. Horizon encourages you to chase your own story, but help others a little on the way too, and its ultimate reveal is smart and provocative, and worth the journey.
You have no idea.
Across a vast and beautiful open world, Horizon Zero Dawn juggles many moving parts with polish and finesse. Its main activity, combat, is hugely satisfying thanks to the varied design and behaviours of machine creatures that roam its lands, each of which needs to be taken down with careful consideration. Though side questing could have been more imaginative, its missions are compelling thanks to the central mystery that led me down a deep rabbit hole to a genuinely surprising and bold conclusion. For more on Horizon Zero Dawn, stick with IGN.